Bound by Fate and Blood by Jenna O'Malley. The Merna Annals, Book 1.
Chapter 30. Christian. Nephtyri came to Christian in dreams. She wore the white dress he found among her belongings. As with all her outfits, this one flowed and accented her curves as they danced. "What kind of expression is that I see?" she giggled in the dream. He nuzzled into her palm against his cheek, lost in her very essence. "You're an immortal princess, a breathtaking warrior, a fierce scholar, a tongue of many languages, and harsh wit. Stop flattering me. I am none of those things here. I am me, and you are you. Not a princess, then." Spinning her back against his chest, he whispered into her ear, "Then you are a goddess, and not in likeness or name, in your own right, and by your own merit." He never thought it odd that no one else rarely appeared in the visions, knitting his soul into yearning for hers. Urgencies to taste more than her mouth flooded confusion into the mix. Does her blood taste like cinnamon and lilies too, or just the cinnamon, since she bathes with the flowers? He dipped for a taste of her mouth in the dream, and the world tilted sideways. In his waking moments he couldn't deny what other parts of him wanted from every part of her. "I need out of this bed. Their lengthy bathing rituals provide me more than one distraction." Haggard travel ended with the gathering and the masquerade both arriving. He wouldn't waste time. She'll be as nervous as I am, too. He passed Maria and Frey with empty dishes along the way to Nephtyri's chambers. Quick greetings in passing, and a promise to help Frey pick beers and wines, for the masquerade were all the pair could spare. Sancta Terra would be abuzz in the coming days, enticing Christian to hope the council would finalize his status. He had to prove he could stay. He would avenge his siblings and find the truth behind his father's passing. He would fight, so he could protect Nephtyri and her happiness. While seeing such a beautiful creature nightly was a bonus to revenge, she proved to be more. After reading accounts of her triumphs in battle, the warrior in him couldn't deny her allure. The way Merna looked to her as a leader emphasized her caring but firm nature. Unlike most of them, he was adamant in seeing her care, and not for a single night. They didn't worry about her lack of self-kindness, as he did either. Not drinking blood as part of a routine could wear on a vampire, and the signs were too evident in Nephtyri compared to what he had learned. When he kissed her goodnight, she felt icy against his fingers and lips. She shivered often, seemingly for no reason. She became increasingly pale. She would sometimes pause halfway through a long conversation, as if a blur slowed her thoughts or caused her doubt. He was the last to see her drink, in England, weeks ago. He was certain of it. Part of him wondered if she bothered to care for the symptoms at all. Silence answered his knock at her door when he arrived, and an alarm raced through him. "Shifera, are you well?" He knocked again, harder. When she didn't answer again, he yelled, "Nephtyri, answer me!" Her anguished plea startled him, and he ripped the door open and then closed. She sat at their table from the previous night with her torso draped over the tray Maria and Frey had left behind. Tea covered the floor where Nephtyri spilled the dainty cup. Christian righted her into a sitting position. "Look at me, lass. Come on. Let me see those sunset eyes. Ian?" Her head lolled to the side. "It hurts." She doubled over, gripping her abdomen as it gurgled. He breathed to steady her and calm his voice. Softening his tone, he forced her to look into his eyes. "Stay with me, Tyri. I do not see a knife on the tray. Where can I find a blade?" "No, Ian." She groaned and failed to push him away. "Do not argue with me when you risk bloodlust. Not when I can satisfy your thirst. The elders will make you drink from my vein to seal our bond soon anyway. Do so now. Save them from ordering it later. That is not how this works." He cradled her to him. "Let my body nourish yours. Stop punishing yourself. You do not understand. Forget the council's love of ritual. Why prolong your suffering when I am here now?" The whisper came with another kiss. "The elders have to release their formal judgments. What else can I do to help you then?" After a pause and a sigh, she gathered her wits. "Actual food. It will occupy my stomach." He didn't move far to pull the tray closer. "Bread. Egypt is known for being the beer and bread basin of the ancient world. Such things never left me. And the carpet dye, the tea, for nerves. Maria knows I hardly tolerate the council's drama and politics. The beer would be better for your stomach, or so Frey said, from the lips of a drunkard. Be glad he drinks instead of other things." Slow breaths. Christian slid a fresh cup of tea to Nephtyri's lips. After she sipped and he sat it safely away from her shaking, he caressed over her cheek with his thumb. "Thank you," she said. "Keep me talking so my mind can focus on this world and not dreamscaping to others." "Gladly. Ask me anything." "Did you have visitors today?" He replied, "Every other elder came and went. You are the last I am meeting with." "Then we should meet with the rest of them soon." She adjusted his collar. "I adore that outfit on you." Lee is an excellent judge of color. When pain clenched her stomach, he provided a solid distraction by kissing the back of her hand. What questions should I expect at our meeting with the council? Who you are, where you are from, like an interview for a prospective employer. You've probably given a few of those. I cannot say for certain. The questions are not always the same, and Rochelle can deny outlandish ones. If anyone feels particularly vicious, it can last hours. When will you be able to drink? If they agree, Creo will slice your wrist. I will have to drink from there as a sign of accepting your sacrificing ties to the human world. The exchange can be awkward under prying observers for some pairings. Just look at me when it happens. No one else will matter. His thumb brushed errant breadcrumbs from the corner of her mouth. I understand the moment is brief, so if you need more of me, I am happy to give it. You offer too much. No, I will return here after the ceremony. His kiss was thorough when she wanted to argue, and she tasted divine, as he had thought. The way she followed his lead exhilarated him into kissing the artery along the left side of her neck. The pulse point closest to her heart demanded his attention until she reacted. I told you, do not argue with me, lass. Not when you and your well-being are involved. Thank you. Do not thank me until we win this war together. Then we have a gathering to attend. As they rounded the corridor to the Gathrana a little while later, he slid her hand to rest along the back of his own. He walked a step behind her, leading with his left foot in their sign of respect. He instilled her to her chair in the circle, kneeling with the correct foot forward as she sat. If the creeping linger of every elder in their midst staring him down caused distress, it went underplayed. Thank you, Nephtyri whispered. Rochelle stood from her seat as Abraxas and Shimon's signal came her way. Good evening, my siblings, and welcome, Baron Christian Silas Alexander Sinclair. Good night, Uran Shife Rochelle, and may it shield us all. My siblings, Shifeda Nephtyri presents for your consideration this human into her coven's ranks as Mashiach Axis. Have you had the chance to speak with him for judgment on behalf of your peoples? Yes, we have, Uran Shife, the elders responded in unison. Very well, my siblings. Rochelle stepped into the circle's center. Baron Sinclair, please join me. He stood, facing Rochelle, and kneeled before her again. You will be judged by your merit. All elders, except for myself and your Shifeda, may speak. Creo-Shimon, would you record the session and subsequent results, please? Of course, Uran Shife. Please begin, elders. Bjorn stepped away from his chair without giving Rochelle a chance to sit first. He paced along the circle's edge, allowing Ian to see his feet, but only barely. What is your full given name? Christian Silas Alexander Sinclair, in honor of my father, Silas Alexander James Sinclair II, and his father before him. What is your family's craft? We are merchant sailors and shipbuilders from Scotland, contracted by the English crown for expeditions across the Atlantic. Who is the current imperial lord hunter? Kufim! Only relevant questions may be asked. Bjorn waved away Rochelle's concern, a crackling storm of passion and ire swirling between them from opposite sides of the circle. He carries the blood of Silas the Slayer. I find the question on topic, Uran Shife. I never knew my father to be such a dishonorable man, but I have not witnessed his whole life. Christian knew telling the truth mattered more than letting them argue over whether or not to allow him to answer. If he showed hesitancy, he could die. He thought, I do not know how much longer Nephtyri can hold on without this drink. They have to hurry for her sake. Bjorn boomed, Do you not know your family, boy? When my father died, Christian replied, I took on the family's craft at 14. I've spent my years at sea and abroad to support my siblings and the woman my father called his wife. Bjorn returned to vulture-style circling. Do you not give allegiance to the gilded governess Sinclair? Christian replied with a level tone, She lives in unforgiving and precarious ways, which ruin my family, regardless of her connections to the guild. Arya's foot twitched, making Christian glance up for a single reassuring wink. He was doing well, despite the chieftain pressing his patience. An impatient, darker-skinned fae, with wings at rest on her back, huffed, Make haste, Kufim Bjorn. A few of Nephtyri's coven claim you returned to your family's home. Bjorn stopped pacing in front of his chair. Why did the hunters burn Sinclair Manor the night you arrived in London? Christian panicked for a moment, but answered honestly, I assume they found the gilded governess lied about my lineage. I understand Creo-Shimon's tests suggest such. The Wolfen didn't play clean, but he raised his left hand as he sat in Christian's favor. I pass judgment. Stakalaisa hopped into the circle. Human, when you returned to the manor, who did you find? No one other than Lady Harumi and hunters waiting to deal with us. Lady Harumi? Nephtyri, you should correct your pet on his improper use of human titles for a simple singing spy. Lady Harumi deserves at least a title due to her merit in battle. Christian's candor shocked the council as he spoke out of turn. It is an honor and a privilege to fight next to her and the rest of my coven. What does the son of a slayer know about honor? You know only privilege. Stackalesa returned to her seat, both hands on her armrests, a sign she refused to pass judgment. Tempesh, I agree. The Slayer's blood is untrustworthy. A deep, spicy bass voice laughed from across the way. My meeting with the human and the entertaining embarrassment for him now is all I need to pass judgment. Kufim Tempesh, the son of Vlad the Impaler and Nephtyri's sixth cousin. As with Nephtyri, the vampire Tempesh was the last of his kind. Unlike her, his blood was not purely linked to the throne of Arsinoe, and his father was ostracized for his ways. You understand, not passing judgment now forfeits your right to question him, Kufim Tempash. Would your vampire coven be happy with that? Rochelle interjected, to seek clarification, halting Shimon's quill. We have wasted enough time on this Slayer's apple. Let it fall from a tree far from our orchards, Tempesh replied. Christian was thankful to see Arya walk into his line of sight at last. The Fae King had been kind enough to inform Christian which questions to expect. Baron Sinclair, what is your Shifeda's name? Shifeda, Nephtyri, Lyra Hotep, or Sinwe, Setina thought Nacum, or in the eyes of humanity, Ptolemy. He didn't care if the entire room gasped. He heard hers and none other. To include her family's pharaonic last name as noted by human history indicated he saw her as a ruler in two realms, and deserving of a throne she did not keep in either. How did you come to save our sister from the night her coven ran from London? Arya asked with a charming smirk. Christian recounted the events, and he followed the next question to retell the battle on the lusty strumpet for seemingly the 100th time. When he finished, Cyrus laughed before raising his left hand. Ververi was right. You tell the tale better than anyone. Yanairana's left hand raised with a purr. Lee and Harami said you were bold when I dined with them upon arrival. They would gladly fight by your side. The way our covens and clans embrace him, Shifera Nephtyri, speaks oceans more to me than this human ever could about himself. Arya raised his hand to match his voting siblings. Creo, given our arrangement of 6 elders being present to vote, please take the final count. Christian waited. The room stilled. Creo Shimon's action was vital. If the magical master spoke, then Christian's life would be extinguished by a blade to his throat. He never thought the slice of a knife against his left wrist would feel like nirvana instead of a stinging pain. Deep crimson ripped through the air as Rochelle asked, What name do you prefer? Mashioxalaxaxis. The name my Shifeda bestows upon me. Arya beamed with pride. Sister, he calls for you. Nephtyri joined Christian at the circle center. His beloved Koya and Akrina called him Ian. I wish him to be the same to us, as he is now our family. Rochelle clapped her approval. Shifeda, Nephtyri, Lyra Hotep, Arsinoe, Setina Thotnakum, by my Vamboon and nomination from 4 of your 6 siblings, seal your bond with Ian, your Mashioxalaxaxis, by accepting his wrist. Otherwise, to deny him would mean us witnessing his heart bleeding dry. Nephtyri took his bleeding wrist into her hand and bent over the wound in prayer. A stumbling tremor of her lips covered the spiking bloodlust, demanding his vein. Just look at me, he thought. Again and again. He waited for their eyes to meet, and she breathed before continuing. The world around them melted away. The final words tripped from her tongue in English. I accept your lifelong gift to fight by my side, and I wish to join your quest to avenge your siblings. Her lips lowered with reverence, but bloodlust latched her into the wound too hard. Christian didn't flinch. He bowed his head and murmured the required vow, to serve her until his passing. In Merna. Judging by the way she watched him, she expected it in English. The drink was meant to be brief, so she contained the urge to continue once he stopped reciting. When she pulled away, Rochelle called to their newest sunwalker, Rise, Ian, and congratulations. An alarm sounded from the hallway.